Chapter 4, Position Management. What is it and why is it important? Now that we know what position classification is, the roles and responsibilities of those involved, and the cases in which it should and should not be used, we are almost ready to start discussing the PD and job discussion help sheet in detail. Before that, though, we should consider one final and very important step before establishing and classifying a new position, or reclassifying an existing one. Position management is a systematic approach for determining which positions are needed to accomplish a general objective, the grouping of duties among the positions, and the required knowledge, skills, and abilities to successfully perform them. Now, unfortunately, position management is often not considered before starting a classification, or it's not done in a systematic way. We will discuss in this video how to do so properly. We can find the position management policy in 3 FAM 7313. It states, among other things, that it is the responsibility of managers and supervisors to organize and assign work in the most efficient and economical way. This will be our cornerstone to determine if we have effective position management. On the economy side of things, we have considerations like the number and cost of positions, as well as the recruitment and retention of incumbents. While on the efficiency side of things, we have customer responsiveness, ability to accomplish mission objectives, balance of workload, and more. Supervisors will need to determine the work that needs to be performed, structure the organization and positions to accomplish objectives, and create or continue only those positions for which there is a valid need. Remember, we have a responsibility to the U.S. taxpayers to make sure that we are effectively doing our work in the most economical way. You are not alone. Your HR office is ready to assist you by providing technical advice, pointing out possible consequences, suggesting alternatives, and implementing your plan. It's important to remember that every organizational design decision is a trade-off, and that everything is connected. For example, let's say you add a new position to your team in order to reduce the workload for your current staff. An unintended consequence may be that since you removed work and responsibilities from other positions, now those must be reclassified as well. Also, your span of control, which refers to the number of positions reporting directly to a supervisor, may become too broad, leaving you less time to work on your own contributions to the team. On the other hand, if the span of control is too narrow, you create a bottleneck for communication from top management to employees. Here's another example. You decide to remove a position. Will those duties and responsibilities simply go away, or will they be added to the remaining staff? If those duties are at the same level and complexity of those duties already present in the position, are we adding workload that will become too large for those employees to perform effectively? Would the current incumbents of those positions still be qualified to perform those new duties? The expectation may be that the addition of these duties would cause a promotion for the incumbent. However, it must be remembered that it may just be adding workload at the same level of responsibility. All of this should start to paint a clear picture of why position management is important. But let's go through a simple scenario to make it even clearer. Let's say that you want to create a smaller motor pool. You would do this by adding driving responsibilities to several positions in GSO, RSO, facilities, which would require a driver's license. This seems like it would be very convenient, but let's look at the considerations and unintended consequences of the scenario. Well, for one, will this solution put an incumbent out of a job? By making this change without consulting HR or the effective staff, you wouldn't know that one of the shipping assistants didn't have a driver's license and can't get one. Would you really want the shipping assistant to lose his or her job? Moreover, what about recruitment? Maybe the perfect procurement agent is out there, willing and interested to apply to the mission, but they happen to not be able to drive. They would not be qualified for the position because of its incidental driving duties. In addition, who will pay for the driver's license for the existing employees who do not have one? Who will track and pay for medical checks every 2 years? Who will provide the required Smith Systems training? As you can see, in order to properly gauge its effect, even a relatively small decision must be first looked at through the eye of position management. A few final key considerations. Group similar kinds and levels of work at its corresponding levels of complexity. It doesn't make sense to have a specialist doing assistant-level work because 1, it's not an effective use of your budget, and 2, it may be demotivating for the employee. On the other hand, while it may be motivating, adding specialist-level work to an assistant-level position may disqualify them from the job, or it may create unrealistic expectations for success. Ensure that HR is able to recruit in the local market. You might believe that a university degree in a specific field is required. However, that kind of degree is not available in the local market. Remember that we're looking for the minimum qualifications required, which may be a high school diploma or some university studies. There must be a balance of doing and managing. If the number of managers exceed the actual output of the team, then your span of control is out of balance. For example, we would not expect to see a span of control with only one person being supervised. This creates the bottleneck mentioned earlier. In this situation, you will need to rebalance the team using effective organizational design. Clearly define knowledge, skills, and abilities that are in line with the complexity of the job. You should have clear lines of accountability. Knowing who to call when something needs to be fixed or when you need help will streamline any process. And finally, don't forget the importance of administrative support. A well-functioning team often requires someone to concentrate on the less glamorous work of the office. Another benefit is that this creates a career development ladder within your office. In summary, please remember that everything is connected. You should make trade-offs consciously. Ask good questions at the right time and think through all possible consequences, intended or otherwise. Finally, manage expectations of your staff. Not all changes will result in a promotion. Thank you for watching.